Your mobile phone is destroying your workouts and ruining all the effort you're putting into the gym or wherever you do your exercise. Also, your mobile phone is completely destroying your career and your ambitions. Welcome to this week's episode of My Body Health Podcast, and I'm here to share with you valuable information as always and some perspective that I hope will help you to live a better, more enriched life. And remember, always, you were the one holding the pen. You're the one holding the pen and writing the script of your life. So it's up to you to write a script that's epic and memorable, and one you look back on with a big smile on your face. This particular episode is driven by what I'm observing for a very long time, and increasingly so among people in the gym, out and about, speaking to clients and so on, in terms of where they are in their careers and their ambitions and what their habits and so on. So, it's a really important one. It's crazy to even need to speak about this because it's such common sense, but the mobile phone, while it's one of the most amazing pieces of technology ever, and what it allows us to do is incredible. Think in our hand, we've got literally a computer, we've got a communication device, we've got a camera that's as good as any camera out there. It's unbelievable what it does. But unfortunately, like so much that humans have created since the beginning of history, something that can be so positive for humanity ends up becoming detrimental or bad for humanity. And increasingly, the mobile phone is going that way. At the end of the day, it's designed for addiction, especially social media. Social media is designed for addiction. And, it's genius again, and you have to admire the geniusness of the way these things are set up and the way social medias are all, again, get you addicted to constantly looking at it. They know the humans thrive off dopamine. So constantly look for that dopamine hit, whether it be that you got to like, you got to comment, you got to share, or trying to find some post or video that will give you a bit of dopamine. Also, the newest thing the last few years in terms of messaging, whether it be on WhatsApp, whether it be Instagram, whether it be Facebook, any of these things, to now be able to see if it's delivered and then also see if it's been read, has created a whole new level again of attachment to our phones, attachment and a reactive nature. And this reactive nature and the attachment as well as the addiction is what's completely ruining your workouts, ruining your career, and ruining many aspects of your life. Many aspects of your life. So I'm going to talk about the two things that I spoke of at the start, which is the gym and then your career. So let's take the gym first. In the gym, people are usually there to work out. That's always been the case. But there's always been a social element to it, where people would chat, chit-chat, help each other, spot each other, just chat between breaks and so on. Now, and I consciously look at this now for weeks and months on end, because it fascinates me to watch when I'm in between sets, when I look around, practically everybody, sometimes everybody that I can see is on their phone. Okay? Now, one, it takes away any possibility of social connection. Two, so bad for your posture, looking at your phone like that all the time. But three, the most important one is, it is ruining your workouts. What's important for the workout? Important for the workout is stimulating the body. How do you stimulate your body? You do the right exercises in a correct, efficient, safe workout routine. You do it correctly with proper range of motion, speed of motion, and technique. But also really important is your rest periods. There's rest periods for a reason. You should be taking somewhere between 30 seconds to 2 minutes rest period maximum. If it's like power you're working off, you're probably talking 3 to 5 minutes. However, most people are trained for aesthetics, so you're talking 30 seconds to a minute mostly for rest periods. Most people are taking 4, 5, 6, 10 minutes. How often are you waiting for a machine and someone that's sitting there on their phone doing something for ages? That's one frustration everyone has encountered at some stage, right? I'm sure you've encountered that. But like I said, when I look around, there is no one not using their phone. They're all using their phone. It's an absolute rarity for me to not see someone on their phone in the gym. So, one, it's meaning that they're going to take massive rest periods, which impacts their results, impacts their performance. And they can have all the intention, I'm going to go on this for a quick minute, quick look. It doesn't happen. Watch anyone, they're on it for ages. That's why there's people having machines not even exercising. I saw a guy the other day on a machine I was waiting for, and he must have been on it 5, 6 minutes. He still hadn't done any reps. He was just sitting on his phone. And in his head, he probably is, oh, I'm just on this for a minute. He'd probably on another few minutes. And where I was getting on with my things and workouts and changing exercises. The other important one, though, is focus. If you want results in anything in life, you want to improve any area of your life, you need focus. And one of the most important parts of focus is avoiding and ignoring distractions. What's the biggest distraction that we have in the modern world? The mobile phone. It's a source of distraction. It's a tool for distraction. There's so much can distract us on it. And even just the thing of notifications, all the beeps, messaging, read messages, seen messages, all these kind of things. They're all distraction. So while you're on your phone in between sets, you're looking at stuff and so on, and eventually you go back to do your set, you're not in a focused frame of mind. You're not focused on what you're doing. Like when I go to the gym, it's like military operation. I'm going in to train. I'm going in there to do the best I can. I'm going in there ideally to progress on what I did the last time. That takes a certain level of focus. You don't see people on the 100-meter start line in the final of the Olympics and they're checking their phone first. You're getting in the zone. And it's the same for every time you train and every set you do. Like during that training phase, or whether it be 30-minute workout, an hour, or whatever it might be, your only focus should be on that workout and giving everything to that workout. That's all that should be in your mind. And every set, every rep, you're giving it absolutely everything. Whereas when you've got the phone, you're distracted by that. Your rest period's all over the place. You're thinking about what's on the phone. You're not focused on, okay, what do I need to do next set? If you do, let's say, 6 reps, you're not focusing on visualizing the 6 reps and getting it done, because that's a whole part of training, especially to train optimally and to get the maximum results. You know, your whole visualization is key. It's like when I'm training, I'm seeing my muscles doing what I want them to do. I'm seeing my body getting leaner, or my muscles getting bigger, or my body getting more sculpted, whatever it is I'm trying to achieve. In between sets, I'm seeing myself getting the next target. So let's say the next set, I'm in for 6 reps. I'm focusing that I'm going to get 6 reps. Because remember, our mind and body, our cells are all interconnected. So those messages are really important. So it's really key to your sending the messages of what you're going to achieve to your body, to your muscles. So you have that expectation. Then it's just a case of just doing it. So you got distraction, you got interrupting your recovery by having prolonged rest periods. Ultimately, it's going to make a huge difference to your results. Okay, I hope that made sense to you. Throw it into a career now. When you're working, so working for yourself, work for someone, it doesn't matter. Again, what are people doing? They're constantly checking their phone. The phone is there beside them. Notifications are turned on for most people. Once you have notifications on, you're a slave to that phone, because that phone is going to be beeping repeatedly throughout the day. And the more social medias you're on, the more people you're connected with, the more beeping it's going to do. And you naturally, with the best will in the world, if you're hearing that beep, you're going to want to check it. Because again, you're looking for that dopamine hit. And also you're looking for that distraction. Because remember, as humans, evolutionary, we always want the easier option. And scrolling on your phone can be a lot easier than doing whatever you're meant to be focused on in your job or business. Because that's going to be the challenging part. So we want distraction. This is why you have to be very disciplined. This is why the most successful people are disciplined. They're focused. They're consistent. They avoid and ignore the distractions. You know, it's so important. You won't have successful people constantly scrolling on their phone, jumping every time a notification comes on. It's not going to happen. If they're writing, if they're in a meeting, if they're having to write an email, whatever it may be, it's focused. You need to be focused on what you're doing. That's all that matters in the moment. We're losing our ability to be present in what we're doing. We're losing our ability to be present with people that we're with, all because of the phone. It's like when you go to coffee shops, restaurants, huge percentage of people are on their phones. What are they with those people for? If there's people out together, 2 people, or even I've seen it, groups of friends, they're all on their phone. Where's the social interaction? Where's the social engagement? We're social beings. We're humans. We need interaction. So communication's getting killed by these phones as well. That was an area I wasn't going to jump into, but I might as well throw it in there. Because again, career and the gym are the main parts. But we need to stop being so controlled by it. It's impacting our productivity massively. That you can't get as much as you could do in a day by constantly jumping onto your phone. We need to, one advice I would always say is have your notifications off on all your phone, all the apps, unless it's something you want. It's like for me, my WhatsApp notifications are on because I have that for my son in case he ever needs to contact me. And that's the one I use for client support. So if there's ever anything really urgent, they can contact me on WhatsApp. I'll still be disciplined about when I look at it, but I look at that app more regularly. Whereas all the other apps, I decide when I'm going in. And usually I go in like a military operation, go in, do what I need to do, and get off. So I'm not being sucked into every time a notification comes in, I go check it. Every time a message comes in, I check it. Every time there's a phone call, I answer it. My phone's on silent practically all the time because I'm in control of when I look at it, when I engage with it. And it takes a lot of discipline. And it's not easy. I'm not saying I'm superhuman or anything, but it takes discipline, it takes consistency. Like that's where I became very aware of like the gym because I noticed I was starting to do that and look at my phone between sets because it's very easy to, and you'll have a huge desire to. And I was starting to do that. Then I started to realize and become self-aware. You know what? I'm taking longer between sets than I should. I'm looking at this and I'm just looking at rubbish and it's not serving me in any way. So I made a commitment to myself a couple of months ago that when I'm working out, I'm not on my phone in any form in terms of social media or anything. I may check a couple of WhatsApp messages from certain people if they have messaged and I might reply. That is it. But it's very controlled. And I'm still keeping to my rest periods between workouts because that's what I'm there for. So I barely go on my phone when I'm in the gym now. I'm there to work out. That's it. Same as if I'm doing something like right now, I'm recording this. This is the priority. Phone's in the drawer. I have no idea what's going on in it because this is what I'm focused on. Same if I'm doing some writing, which I do every day. Different types of tasks that I'm doing. So our productivity is being killed by the phone. So one of the biggest things you can do to improve your productivity, notifications off, phone on silent, phone upside down is another one because even if it's on silent and it's facing up, corner of your eye is going to see when the screen lights up with notifications or so on if you have them on, or messages or phone calls. Turn it upside down if you need to really focus or put it in a drawer. These things are simple, but they're very difficult to do. But they're golden tips. I can guarantee you 100% that if you get more disciplined with your phone in the gym setting and in terms of with your job and career in your work phase of your days, your results will dramatically improve. Your results will improve dramatically in the gym and your results will improve dramatically in your career. Because you'd be more productive, you'd be more focused, you'd do better work. The gym, you'd be sticking to your routines, you'd be sticking to your rest periods, and every set you will be giving it way more because you'd be focused on what you're trying to do, not just doing some exercise between checking your phone. Like the phone is nearly what you're mainly doing, and it's like the workout is the interruptions. When it's the other way around should be, if anything. Does that make sense? So like I said to start, and it might sound very extreme that your mobile phone is destroying your workouts and destroying your career. It is. And I hope this short little podcast and what I've said and the perspective I've given has made that very clear to you. And maybe it's a wake-up call that you needed. Maybe you need now to be self-aware of what are your habits around your mobile phone and start improving them, especially in the gym and especially in your work. There's loads of other areas too. I touched on it there even with the cafes and restaurants. But when you're in people's company, you can be conscious of it. So throughout the day, be conscious of when you're using your phone and bring in controls, bring in discipline, okay? Bring in rules. The phone is amazing. Like I said, it's such an unbelievable device. We're blessed to have it if we use it positively. But for most people are using it in a very negative way for their health, negative way for their lifestyle, negative way for their goals and for their overall well-being. So we use it positively, but you have to have control, you have to have discipline. Okay, so let me know any question you may have about this because it's an important topic and you may need clarification, you may have some experience, you may have some thoughts or comments on it, share it. Make sure you subscribe and follow because it all helps with the podcast, by something so simple. Make sure you're following or subscribing to the podcast depending where you consume it because it helps more people then to see it and be aware of these important messages that are put out there. And answer the poll if there's a poll there, if you see it on Spotify, and go check out all the other episodes and keep sending me your questions and your topics that you'd like me to discuss in podcasts. Because remember, these podcasts are for you, they're not for me. So let me know the questions you have, the issues you're having, the challenges you're having, the obstacles you're having, information you need to know, the education you need to know, stuff that's confusing, and I'll create podcasts around it. Remember, these podcasts are for you. So hope you enjoyed that. Do let me know. Your feedback is super important to me. And go out there, have a great day. And please, for the love of God, incorporate some rules into your phone usage.